Are we on? Are we live? It says we're live, but it's always that time where you think, no. So let me just look in the comments. We have got, hey, Roo. Hi, Danny. Hi, Gemma. Hi, Will. How lovely to see you. Hello, Anita. Oh, we're on. Right. Okay. First things first. Can you see us and can you hear us? Is everything acting as it should be? Because it's been a year since I did a live setup, and Mike has been that nervous today that everything is just going to go pear-shaped, haven't you, Mike?
Hello. Yeah, I mean, it's been it's normally a fairly sort of stressful start to these events.
Yeah, it usually is. Usually it's yeah, you can see and hear. Oh, fantastic. I'm saying fantastic. And also, can you see the comments? Because my daughter Charlotte said before that I did a private test thing on her phone and she couldn't read the comments. And I'm assuming that's just because it was on her phone. So I'm hoping that you can see what everyone's writing and then we can interact with each other. But yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you, Mark. Oh, lovely. That's so many people already. That's really nice. Also a little bit intimidating because you just sat down. Mike's chair was too big. It's usually just me sitting in this chair. Mike, do you know you've got to look up there? That's the camera look.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But then you've got to look down there because that's the comments.
Unfortunately, I've got a habit of looking around everywhere as I talk, and I can't help that. So that
you'll
that
probably
is
just wander off, won't you, at some point? But yeah, Mike's. I'm usually used to sitting here with my chair, which is lovely. It's really comfortable, sort of like big, nice, comfy chair. And so Mike tried to squeeze his chair on the side, and it just wouldn't fit, would it? So we've had to move all sorts out. So we're a little bit flushed.
There's only one star on this channel.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Rue. Thank you. I'm not going to turn off slow mode, Anna. Right. Okay. One of the things you set up when you set up a live, if you've ever done it before, is you can put, oh, maybe I should. You can put slow mode on the comments so that you have to wait for 60 seconds between each comment or between you writing another comment. And I think the idea is basically to stop naughty people hugging the chat and saying naughty things all the time before we can we can respond to it. So I have got slow mode on, but we'll see how we go. Otherwise, Anna, you're just going to have to wait a minute between each comment. Mike,
I was just going to say I'm normally with Anna, and on this occasion I'm with Anna, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah, well, let's see. And I've decided as well, after I did I was a guest on Danny's live chat the other day. Danny, get your description in the comments, your link, along with Will and Gemma. Could you put their links in there? I haven't got my words. Mike, tell me what my words are. Links.
Can you please give links to their channels?
Please give
so
links
that
to
people
their channels.
Can follow their channels
so
and
people
see what
can
they're
pop
up
over
to.
and say hello, but not yet. But I realised watching it back, I've only been able to watch it back in small amounts because my voice is so loud. And I know Mike's had 30 years of it. But I know at one point, apparently I went quite low and Danny was mixing the volume. And I think he was very near putting me on mute. So I'm going to try not to get overexcited and not to shout.
She's excitable.
Because I am excitable and I love it when you're talking to other people. And I do just get really excited, whereas you're quite calm and
naturally miserable,
naturally laboured.
Yeah, we offset each other in that regard.
So try not to sound as shrill as I normally do. So anyway, you're impatient. I know, Anna. I know. So hello, hi there. Oh, there we go. Right, we've got a good group of us going. So, hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Well, I've had a very limited little bit of gardening this week. Not very much to tell.
You've been busy at work, haven't you?
But I have been lugging a ton of cardboard down the lane today.
Yeah.
Because as you know, we're no diggers. But the downside of that, when you've got a plot which is maybe a quarter of a mile down a lane, is that you've got to lug your things down there. When it gets really muddy, because we can't take anything down at the minute and drop it off.
I know, and if you saw a couple of videos ago, I was actually walking down the lane, and Rue, you've walked down that lane, and it is deceiving, isn't it? Because it's dead straight, So you see the end as soon as you start. And because you see the end, you keep thinking you must be getting closer to it. But when you're lugging stuff up and down, it just seems to get longer. It seems to get further away. So I did feel sorry for you, Mike, but I had other things to do.
You did, yeah. And I got to see the chickens who were very happy to see me.
Yeah.
Cleaned them out a little bit.
Yeah, you did. So you've done quite well. You've done more than me this weekend in the garden, because I've not done anything.
Well, the chickens have profited more from our cauliflower than we have, because once again we failed on the cauliflower front.
No, but I was saying the other day that the cauliflower leaves are actually really lovely. As with all brassica leaves, don't think just because you've eaten your broccoli heads or your broccoli florets that you need to throw the leaves away, because they're just as nice. You know, they're like kale or cabbage or any other brassica leaf. You know,
as the chickens routinely observe. So we tried,
and we do as
we
well.
tried Romanesco, I think, every summer or
Siggy.
every spring. We think we're going to try those amazing sort of cylindrical kind of pointed Romanescos, because they just look so amazing.
Oh, the
don't
green
they?
Ones, yeah, they're beautiful. They look alien.
Yeah, but this year I think that kind of combination of that really, really hot start and then all the rain afterwards.
It wasn't good, was it?
No. Well, we always say that. There's always some reason that we can't get half decent cauliflower.
Yeah, I know. We blame
But again, leaves, amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I've just, again, one of our issues here, and I know, again, if you've done a live, you're probably very, very organised. You'll have a list of topics to discuss. Mike's just sat down with a cup of tea. I haven't even got it. Well, actually, I've got a glass of water. I've got your glass, Anna, look. There we go. Beautiful glass off my daughter. But yeah, that's my list. That's it. Quick flash there. Don't want to give too much away. But yeah, so the floor is open if you want to ask any questions of us, or let us know how you've been getting on, what you've been up to. Yeah, just ask. I'm hoping. I don't know. Sometimes the chat goes by very, very quickly. So if I do miss your question, I apologise. But it might be an idea to type it in capitals. I don't know. I don't think we're going to have that many people watching.
Well, it's going so slowly.
It's going very slowly because I'm in slow
questions.
mode. I know, it's slow mode. But you know, you saying about no dig, and I was talking to Danny about this the other day, wasn't I, Danny? It's almost become, since we've had this new allotment, how long have we been there now? 4 years?
4 years? Could be 4 years. Yeah. It'd be 5.
It's become almost a contentious issue. You either dig or you don't dig. And there seems to be no two ways. Is it annoying? You can't post more than one comment a minute. Okay, I'm going to see what I can do in a minute. But you, it's sort of got people sort of having to join one rank or another. And I was saying to Danny, really, we use no dig where we can, and we move towards no dig, but we still have to dig stuff, don't we? It doesn't mean that you literally do not disturb the soil. Well,
it would if you had a massive ton of cardboard and a ready supply of compost that could be dropped at the end of your allotment.
Compost, which I like Charles Dowding, who of course has started not started, but enhanced or encouraged the no dig revolution, if you like. But I really don't like the yeah,
everybody hates this slow mode.
I will. Hold on. Hey, Lynn. Hello.
I did say Anna was right, and she is generally right. Okay.
But Hugh Richards has picked up on this recently as well, and he's saying we need to get rid of the dig, no dig thing because it's divisive. It's divisive, and if you're no dig, people are saying, well, I can't possibly agree with you. And it's that with gardening, you've got to find what suits you best, what suits your gardening best, what suits your ground best.
What you can afford.
And what you can afford. Obviously, I'm going to try the slow mode while Mike entertains you.
And the access that you've got to materials, I think, sometimes, because, compost is expensive, I think, if you're not near a green waste recycling centre. It can be pretty expensive, unless you're an amazing composter, which, to be honest, most of us aren't.
No, you need to keep talking, Mike.
Yeah, where was I with that? I mean, I think when it comes to the digging side of things, for us,
all this stuff.
It's when towards the back end of the season and your kind of perennial weeds start to poke their heads through again. So, I mean, we're digging up and moving a strawberry bed, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
And that strawberry bed. I mean, when I finished digging the strawberries out of that and pulling out the strawberries, my hands were just covered in nettle stings because those nettles don't go away very easily. get rid of them with one season's worth of no dig. It's going to take a while.
But don't you find, though, with nettle stings, you get used to it? You do get used to it. It's, now, if I hit a nettle now, it's more of a tingle than a full-on and tears. It's whereas I know you have tears.
I've got a very low, because I'm a man. I have a very low pain threshold.
But yeah. Hey, Liz! Hooray! Liz here as well. Hello, Feel Good Garden. Hello, Anna. Anna, you're calling. It's you again. And who else have I got? I've turned off slow mode. Okay, so let's see what will happen now. So if you try and comment more than once in 1 minute. Not that we'll answer because you'll go by too fast then, but just to see if it works. But yes. So nettles, weeds, yeah, you've got to get in there. You've got to get in the sun. But yeah, Hugh has started a thing calling minimal
dig.
Minimal disturbance gardening.
Not got much of a ring to it.
No, I know, but he's calling it MDG. But he doesn't want it to be something that he's brought up. But I think he's just seeing it as what you call it, a combination.
Yeah.
That's not what I mean.
A fusion
of ideas.
Like a fusion approach.
And I think we do all know in gardening.
You've got to live and let live. I mean, we've got a lovely neighbour, an allotment neighbour called Ange, whose dad was a farmer and practiced all kinds of unusual farming techniques that she remembers.
Oh, I mentioned this the other day.
She was talking to me recently about whether or not I could help her to dig an asparagus bed, to prepare an asparagus bed. And I've heard this thing about onion beds in sort of encyclopedias from the 40s and 30s and things like that. No, let me finish.
I got it wrong then. I got it wrong with Danny and Will and Gemma. I said it was a bean bed.
It wasn't a bean bed. No, it was an asparagus bed, but it also has been talked about in old gardening books in terms of onion beds. And that's where you sort of dig out the soil to about, a depth of about 2 foot, something like that. And then you kind of take any old rusty metal that you've got, any old bikes or frames, things like that, and you lob them in the bottom. And then you cover it up and you create your mound and you put your asparagus crowns on top of that. And apparently the drainage and the iron does them a world of good.
Yeah.
So yeah, no dig, but with sometimes bikes. What's the acronym for that?
A bidig, bicycle.
Rust, yeah, rust gardening.
Rust gardening,
just
the rusty garden. There we've got Ali there, my rusty garden. So
I mean,
it is interesting. I didn't make it up, but I did get it wrong. But
probably handy in the old days as well for getting rid of your old rubbish.
I know. If anyone, there's a scientist out there, Steve, do you know? Steve, you know lots of answers to lots of things. Do you know about that then? Digging metal into your bed. I mean, I've heard about
burying it.
Yeah. I've heard about, it's hugelkultur, isn't it?
Except with metal.
But with metal, it's not a natural substance. But we've heard about people burying.
Don't use aluminium.
Fish heads.
Yeah.
Banana skins, and like
you're Australian.
To us, very, very British gardeners, if you like, and I'm sure it's the same elsewhere. It's sort of, like our gardening.
It's fish
entail nasty things like that.
That's a bit of fish, blood, and bone, isn't it?
Well,
the old school way.
It is, you know. So you're a no pedal gardener. Well done, Danny. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, no pedal. I don't ignore him, Gemma. I shouldn't say ignore him because I thank Danny very much because he's moderating, but we can ignore him afterwards. No pedal as in the bicycle. I think that's what he means. But yeah, it's a Welsh thing. That's right. But yeah, so we are continuing with our bit of a no-dig approach.
Yeah, just because I think for me, as much as anything else, it sort of seems to make sense to me to feed from the top like nature does. But also, if you're a person of a certain age and you've got a dodgy back, or even if you're a person who's not of a certain age and you've got a dodgy back, it's just that much easier. Okay,
Danny says he's not moderated. Danny, I did add you as a mod, did I not? Are you not a mod? Well, there we go. Be as horrible as we like to you then.
Very let down by that.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. So I'm going to look at the list now. What have we done that's new this year? Or what are we looking at that's new? Be new next year. I know because it's on the list. There's only 4 things.
Well, why don't you start us off with that topic? Because you've just mentioned it to me here, just here and now. So you make a start on that.
I literally just pointed at the thing.
I'll contribute.
Sure. Well, a couple of years ago, our direct allotment neighbour offered Mike a patch at the top of her allotment plot. Oh, let me come back. I'm going to write this down. Size. For Mike to grow squash, and we had squash down, didn't we?
We had an amazing squash harvest.
And we had a fantastic harvest.
Yeah.
And then basically one thing and another happened, and she reclaimed that bit of land because now she's got a pond in it. Quite a big one.
She wanted to create a big nature garden.
Yeah.
And I wasn't part of nature.
No, wasn't part of the plans.
I wasn't.
He wasn't natural.
Didn't want a big lumbering Geordie wandering about.
Spoiling the view.
Spreading weeds everywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, we did squash in our allotment this year. We had hardly any squash. We were very, very half-hearted about it. But
we got some squash.
What we have got is lovely, and that's always a bonus.
We've got a couple here. These two got to a good size.
If I do it close, this is huge. Look, you can see that one. And that one, Mr. Squash, Mrs. Squash.
We've got a number of those little squash.
Actually, look.
Yeah,
I mean, it's something, isn't it, when you grow tomatoes bigger than your squash? But these...
We've got garlic bigger than that.
We've got garlic bigger than that. Click on his name now. Should I add him, Liz? I don't know. But yeah, of course, these are the baby boo and the Jack B. Little squash, which are beautiful.
Very good in stir fry, I found.
Yeah. Although
really nice
now they're starting
to
cure a bit. We had them in a stew earlier on, and they're starting to get a bit, because you were doing them with the skin on.
These are still okay with the skin on. The one I used before was the large.
No, you haven't cut into the large pumpkin.
No, because the large pumpkin's there.
No, that's the Crown Prince.
I did cut into the large pumpkin, but which is only that big, and it wasn't very nice.
Well, the large pumpkin's still in the shed then.
It's essentially a large courgeette. It was an 8-ball courgette that just got a little bit bigger, basically.
Yeah. No, the large pumpkin's still in the shed.
Oh no, I haven't.
This one is. This is one of our favourites. So yeah, there's our Crown Prince, but they're beautiful. If you haven't grown squash, grow those. But yeah, so last year and this year we didn't have a squash patch, but now another neighbour has given you some land, and what are you going to do with it, Mike?
I'm going to cover it with squash of all kinds, I think, and I'm going to try and find a few things that maybe vary from the standards that we have, like the Crown Prince and the Chicky Curry.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to exploring some different things. Liz, I'm going to tell you why these birds have arms. It's because we buy a sort of a lot of T-shirts every Christmas for members of the family that we think they're like, from a company called Threadless, who commission illustrators basically put their work in, and it's online. And if you like it and you want to buy one, then by the way, I'm not sponsored by Threadless. Then you'll get the T-shirt printed and sent to you. So I think someone in my family thought this would be funny and that I would like it, and I do. But I think the wings, in answer to your question, yes, they are a bit like arms.
They're supposed to be like arms. There was some sort of tag.
Comic effect, you see.
There was some sort of tag that went with it, armed birds or something like that. That appealed to Mike. Right, okay. Your baby mod. My baby mod is a cross-pollination.
What kind of metal in the ground?
Okay, yeah. Caroline says, what kind of metal in the ground? So anything that rusts. I imagine stainless steel wouldn't be any good, would it?
Postman's bags from the 1950s.
And anything else you want to get rid of?
Probably not aluminium.
Yeah.
Well, definitely not aluminium.
Yeah, there's
not carbon. That's not metal.
Rue's asked a really good related question.
Go on.
Thank you, Rue. What is your favourite type of squash? Mine. Oh, there's so many actually.
Well, that's mine. I mean,
Crown Prince.
I love a butternut squash in a curry. You can't beat that, can you?
Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan, because it's all right if you haven't tried another squash, but then a chicky curry, which Rue's just said,
it's lovely.
That is good.
And
to me, it seems to be the deeper, the more intense the colour of the flesh, the more intense the flavour. And it's got that.
I think.
As says Crown Prince.
I mean, Crown Prince, when you.
Gem likes Bambino.
Crown Prince. Crown Prince, when you slow roast it in the oven, olive oil, pine nuts, a little bit of Parmesan grated on the top, a little bit of nutmeg. I mean, it's really, really Christmassy. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's got a very, very dense flesh. So it's not like any pumpkin that I've ever had.
Sorry, what did you just say?
I'm not going to repeat that. I've said it already to the watchers.
Is chicky curry?
No, Crown Prince. I've talked about Crown Prince.
Yeah. I would like to. Yeah, butternut squash in a curry is good. I would like to try some of the acorn ones We've never tried one of the acorn ones, and they just look beautiful. They always remind me of Cinderella's coach. Do you know the ones I mean?
Yeah.
So they look lovely. We haven't tried those.
Choggy didn't work out for us, did it? We tried that. The Italian squash that looks really gnarly.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
Marina
like the
di
gnarly.
Choggy, it looks amazing.
No, I don't like the gnarly bits.
It's partly about what they look like, isn't it? You know, I mean, cabbage are all very well and good, but squash are all those different colours and textures.
Varieties. Blue Hubbard.
Blue Hubbard. Oh, the Blue Hubbard is a good squash.
Oh,
that's a close, you know, competition there for the Crown Prince, I think.
Squash, what does it taste like? Oh, interesting question, Caroline. It's more flavoursome than a courgette, and it's more dense.
Yeah, it hasn't got so much water in it.
It's slightly nutty.
Yeah.
Would you say?
It can be, yeah. It's sweet.
It can be sweet. You can use it for sweet things or savoury dishes.
And you can roast it.
For example, pumpkin pie.
And you can have it with sort of with dinners. You can put it into pies. You can just tray roast it in the oven with anything you want to. It's just got a really lovely flavour of its own. It's quite unusual.
Yeah.
But it's I think if more people tried it, you wonder why parsnip is so popular. Because the Crown Prince squash is so much better.
Yeah, but when was squash introduced into this country?
In the 1500s.
When was parsnips? And I don't believe that's a proper answer. You're just making it up, aren't you?
I think so. Well, the Blue Hubbard is introduced from the States, isn't it?
Yeah. So in Europe, so our first vegetables that we were used to growing would have been, that's Rocky outside the door. I might have to let Rocky in. The first vegetables that we were used to growing are what? I mean, potatoes didn't come in until later.
No, it would have been roots.
It would have been carrots, wouldn't it?
It would have been roots, and it would have been
carrots ones.
Roots and leafy veg.
Yeah.
And other than that, you were scratching around for berries.
Onions then. When do you think onions came in? Who introduced onions into the UK?
If anyone knows, can you please put it in the comments, because we don't know.
Well, Amanda says Nigel Slater's butternut squash and cranberry Christmas ragout is delicious. Anna, I hope you're watching this, because Anna, my other daughter who's watching, has been tasked with making the starter for Christmas dinner, hasn't she? Sure. So Anna, that might be one to look up. Nigel Slater's a top one. When and how did this plant first come to Britain? Oh, good on you, Liz. The pumpkin was first introduced to Britain in the 1500s. Well, there you go. By the French. God love the French. It was quickly adopted as a pie. Wow, I really didn't know that. I really didn't know.
Pumpkin pie, you see.
All right, okay. Yeah, pumpkin pie. Yeah, but I would have thought pumpkin pie would be... That's an American thing. Would it tie in?
Onions introduced by the Romans. Beans introduced by the Romans.
Were they?
Haricot beans of every kind by the Romans.
Really?
Peas, we didn't really have very much. What have we exported?
Charlotte, you're the oldest daughter. You're not the main daughter. You're the oldest. Charlotte's just come on now as a mod as well. She's down as Sneakret. So yeah. If you see someone called Sneakret on there, they're not a troll. It's my daughter. Yeah, and Anna's other. Sorry, yeah. Oh, squash in your macaroni cheese. I think that's the thing though, Gemma. When you grow your own vegetables, you are more experimental, if you like. It's not that you're deliberately experimental, but if you've got a whole glut of something, you're just going to get rid of it basically by padding your meals. The amount of tomatoes that I throw into just anything, whether it's a bolognese or whether it's a stew or whether it's a soup or anything now, just whole tomatoes, less now because we're not harvesting them fresh.
When you're cooking.
But yeah, well, that's a different story. Yeah. But it's, you just do, don't you? So yeah, that's a really nice idea. Yeah, she was, yeah, there we go. I'll give that a go, Gemma, actually. That sounds really nice. Come on, Danny. Come on. Little random fact. The oldest lasagna recipe, what did it use? Found in a book. It's actually Welsh. Did it actually use pasta?
Oh, yeah, nettles.
What came first? Pasta or lasagna? Because lasagna is just a way of layering.
Yes, so pasta.
Yeah, but lasagna can be used as a method of layering other things, like your spring bulbs. So lasagna means to layer.
Oh, that's true.
I don't know if it's true.
So we're talking about layering things as lasagna. We don't call everything that's layered lasagna, do we?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, pasta sheets.
Pumpkin muffins. Pureed squash. Yeah, puree. Yeah, that's a good idea. Pureed squash is fantastic as a sauce. Have you tried that, Charlotte? You're going to have to try and treat us to that one. The cookbook stated pasta and mince layers. What year was that cookbook then? Because it's going to have to have been, 20th century, isn't it? It's not going to be... It wasn't found in an old cave.
You got it free with the Doomsday Book. Back in the old days.
A plain white or cheese sauce, my go-to for any vegetables. Absolutely, Amanda. You can just do anything with it, can't you? But what we know as lasagna or lasagna is derived from the word laganon, which was the first form of pasta. Charlotte, you've been Googling. Laganon was a reference to flat sheets of pasta dough cut into thin strips. So, okay, you were right.
Yeah.
It's like last night.
Laganon sounds like it could be a Welsh word.
Oh, do you think?
Like,
no, that would be
Haganon.
Haganon. It would be two L's.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
It would be two L's. Fact check. Thank you. Ancient Greece. Wow. There you go. I didn't know. We learn everything, don't we? Last night, we went to a quiz, and the question that threw everybody was, what came first? This is tying in with things coming first. The chicken or the egg?
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
And Mike and I, at exactly the same time, both said the opposite. So, Mike, what did you say?
I said the egg.
And I said the chicken. And it's just basically, it was a trick question, which is quite annoying, actually, because we argued over it for quite some time.
It wasn't really a trick question. It was a question where...
I think it is.
The quizmaster revealed that it was the egg, of course.
Well, why,
of course? Because in evolutionary terms, there would be an adaptation, and that first chicken would have to spring from an egg of some kind, because the egg's been knocking around forever, hasn't it? Eggs predate chickens by a long way.
Forms.
Yeah, so the creature that predated the old chicken laid an egg, out of which came a chicken.
No, I think if you're coming out of the primordial swamp, which you probably know something about.
I live in that swamp.
That's our allotment at the minute. You're coming out as the creature, aren't you?
Oh,
before you can recreate.
Jane is the person, by the way, I should share this with you now. Jane is the person who many, many years ago, when we took the kids to the Natural History Museum, she looked at the blue whale on the ceiling there, the one that's suspended from the ceiling, and she stood there in awe and said, "It's incredible to think that that's a fish."
You know what? You're sounding very pedantic now, and I'm going to put my foot down because Charlotte said we are drifting off the allotment topic, which tends to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course,
yeah, sliced marrow. That's what I mean, Amanda. You can use all sorts of stuff to create layers for a lasagna effect. It doesn't have to be pasta.
No.
Use marrow. Anyway, next, not the whale. Yeah, the whale fish story is a family classic.
It is.
What Mike benefits from is I've got such a terrible memory that I can't remember the amount of gaffes that I have to put up with on a daily basis. 30 years. So that's your squash patch.
Long years.
A squash patch. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Any allotment questions? What are you up to next year? What are you going to change? This is what I started saying, wasn't it, about half an hour ago? What are you going to do next year that you're excited about? Have you got a plan? Danny, I know you've got lots of plans. Charlotte, have you got a plan? Liz, what's your plan? Rue, I know your plan. Tell me what they are in the comments. I'm waiting. This is what we do when we wait for comments. It's either so fast or nothing at all. Come on. Straw bale gardening. Steve, I'm interested in that. I will never, ever do it because I'm not that interested. But I can't really see. You're
going to say the point. Isn't it? It's a bit like no dig in a way, isn't it? Because you let the straw bale break down.
I think Liz did it, didn't you, Liz?
And then plant directly
with potatoes.
Into it.
And hasn't it got a woman's name associated with it? It's an American woman who, who planted all her potatoes in straw, not necessarily straw bales, but in straw above ground. But yeah, Liz, I think you did that, but I'm just wondering whether it was successful or not. That's interesting, Liz, Steve. Yeah, I'd be interested to follow you on that.
I thought that was really interesting when Liz planted those strawberries just on the grass.
Yeah.
I need to catch up with her videos and see how that because I was really surprised by that approach. What a great idea!
Well, Liz says her plans are more of the same, but different. Make of that what you will. That's very cryptic, Liz. Put up your greenhouse. Yeah, that's what I was thinking with you, Rue. You're going to love that greenhouse and starting your asparagus bed. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, straw bale gardening isn't what you did then, but you did plant things in straw, didn't you, Liz? Was that you? I thought you had a layer of straw with potatoes in. Well, maybe I'm wrong. And Steve, a couple in New Zealand have sponsored you to do it. What, they're going to send you the straw bales? You're going to plant in them? I don't know. Charlotte says seedlings or young plants are, Charlotte's Googling again, are simply placed in the bale where they are protected and nourished by the straw. But is there enough nourishment in the straw?
Well, a lot of nitrogen, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's only particular
nitrogen-loving plants.
Yeah. So like your beans, things like that. You probably wouldn't do very well with your brassicas, would you? Because it'd be too loose anyway.
And they'd all fall over.
Rachel from that 1870s homestead did it with great success. I've not seen her, Amanda. Might look her up. You mulched with straw. Okay. Yeah, I saw you doing something with straw, Liz.
Has anybody tried growing squash over frames? I'm going back to squash again here, but I'm interested in that one. Can you actually grow more squash by building upwards?
Yeah.
Especially with some bigger ones. Anybody had any success with that?
What do you mean?
Well, like, for example, the old Crown Prince there, it covers a lot of ground, doesn't it? Covers a lot of ground per actual squash.
Well, a lot of people do. The mini squash are good, but if you're going to do the big squash, like with any melons, you're going to have to support them.
Mm.
So has anyone had any success with that this year?
Well, Liz has grown squash up trellis several years in a row. It must have been really heavy-duty trellis.
Right, okay.
Squash like the ones that we've got there.
Loads of urea is added to the bale, so it becomes a hotbed system, Steve says, with the straw bales. And Amanda, It's gone. Has said about you fill the holes in the straw with compost to get them started. So that's starting to make sense. Yeah, okay. So Liz, did you grow anything?
I'm very saddened by Charlotte's comment.
Which one?
She's tried specifically not to grow as many squash next year.
Oh, come on, Charlotte.
Bogdan, Charlotte's partner is a chef and he doesn't like squash very much. Yeah.
Have you got anything like that, Liz? And if so, what did you use to support it? Let's just have a look. Yeah, Rue, you have grown it. It looks beautiful. But what's the biggest squash that you've used, that you've grown up a trellis? Georgia Candy Roaster. Well, that's nice. I've not heard of that. Flimsy as in bendy trellis, metal trellis, and big squash. Made it interesting each time you walked underneath. Did you sort of say a little prayer before you went underneath? So many people a year get killed by coconuts.
Not squash, though.
Well, yeah, but it's only a matter of time, isn't it?
If you grow really high up, yeah.
I have to put in things that will take care of themselves next year, okay. So you're going to look, low maintenance then, aren't you, Blue? That's the thing. That squash probably will end up in your house or will end up on the dinner table at Christmas.
I'll cook that up for you when you come over, Charlotte, next time.
Curry. Sorry, wasn't more specific. Even with the bigger varieties. Okay, yeah, it would though. But Danny, imagine the views. Imagine disaster next minute. Yeah. If anyone was going to get killed by a squash,
I think if that did happen,
it would be me.
If that did happen, I think Jane's channel would go viral.
Yeah. Well, this is it. You've got to have the odd disaster.
I know.
Video. People turn off. Anyway, okay. Crown Prince without support. Oh, that's interesting. Hi, Anna. Hello. Yeah, okay. You've done well there then. So yeah, I think we've covered squash. You keep returning to it, don't you? You can tell you like it.
I've done it. I'm done with that. Done with that now.
Okay.
Let's move on to another topic.
Okay. Can I just say, I don't know if it's enabled. No, it's not enabled. It's all right. I'm not even going to say it. Mike, have you seen it?
No.
Do you know how many videos are on the channel now?
I'm going to guess. I think it's somewhere in the region of 299.
You've seen the list.
Am I close?
It's not.
Am I close? No. Or maybe about 301.
No. I think this is the 296th.
Oh,
video.
I was going to say 300.
296 video.
Okay.
Because, no, not 305. No, it's, you know, when you think all those years ago, we've been through the mill. We have been through the mill. Did you think we'd still be doing it? What
Well,
did you think?
It's you doing it.
No, I know,
I didn't necessarily think that you would be doing it. I thought it might be something you got out your system.
I know. I tend to
made some videos. You know, had a bit of a all-in kind of.
I get very into something, don't I?
Get very enthusiastic and then move on to something else. But not this time.
No, no.
Because the difference here is that there's a big community around that.
It is that. And I mean, a couple of you will know that very recently, you do go through a bit of a lull and you think about packing it all in. But the one thing that makes me keep going is the community and things like this. I'm not getting emotional and I don't want to get really cheesy, but that is, you know, if I was just doing it for myself, I probably would give up. But
you're doing it for me.
Am I doing it for you?
No.
Mike keeps saying, come on, he'd like to see Mike do a video because, you know, it's one thing filming the video and editing the video, but being in front of the video is like, I could film Mike. I could film him doing something.
Good night, Jem.
Oh, bye, Gemma. Thank you for coming along. Lovely to see you. Oh, enjoy. It's a lovely age they are. Yeah, would you like to see Mike in a standalone video? Because you often appear in mine, don't you?
No, I had some limited success a little while back in some of your Instagram reels. So then she featured me making my pesto, but it was disastrous.
No, was that a Patreon though?
I had to do it in one take, my pesto video.
Well, you have to. Steve, you'll know, if you're doing a cooking video, more often than not, you're doing it in pretty much one take because it's only so much where you can start again and, you know, and so, yeah. So Mike had to sort of work out how to do the pesto video.
It didn't get the views.
No.
It didn't get the views.
It's not the lowest views of any of the videos.
I would have to do like something controversial every time.
It's taken it to heart, haven't you? But I think you should. I think you should. So I think, Mike videos. The squash experiment ones. Yes, Rue, you mentioned that. And also, didn't you do the different slug barriers as well?
I think that's the one she means.
So maybe, yeah. Maybe, no, it's not. The ones you meant, Rue, were from a couple of years ago when you had the squash next door.
Oh, yeah.
And you did all the different boundaries there. So, but you were going to do one recently for the Halloween nightmares thing, weren't you?
I was going to tell a story about a rat that I encountered in a shed, and I thought it could have been quite a good scary story. But no. I think the other contributors used up all the time, and that's okay with me. That's okay.
Yes, one take, but best with no talking. In case you, I can't do voiceovers, Steve. I just can't do it. It's too. Yeah, I just can't do it.
Anna, what can I ask Anna? What would my competitive channel be about? Would it also be about gardening? Would it be one where I kind of allow your mum every now and again to say something, and then I cut her out of the video? The dark side, of Jane's allotment.
There are quite a lot of videos. I'll ask Mike to do a little bit, and bless him, it's usually just completely. Well, it is. It's all unplanned. More often than not, it's unplanned. I'll see Mike doing something and say, "Hey, Mike, can you just speak to camera and say what you're doing?" And you do, but then it comes to doing the editing, and
I seem to hit the floor.
It's quite easy to cut him out, but yeah. What was I going to say? The Halloween video, it didn't necessarily get great views. None of my videos zoom like that, but what it did get was so many comments and such a lot of interaction. Sadly, it did also get, and I spoke to a couple of you about this, it did also get a copyright claim.
Oh no.
For something I had no idea about. And so at the moment it's made the grand total of 31 pence. So it was quite a lot of work. But you know what? I really enjoyed doing it. I loved doing all the storytelling stuff. That was great. So yeah.
I'd rather not known about that 31 pence.
31p. Yeah. 31p. Yeah. Check Amanda's question. What? Oh, okay. Amanda, good question. What aren't you growing next year? Ever again?
Oh, crikey. I mean, I want to say Romanesco cauliflower because we've just tried it several times, haven't we? We've tried it time after time.
And so many people say they're about to give up growing something.
Radicchio.
And then we've got radicchio now.
We've got radicchio. It's doing okay now.
But then as soon as you say you're not going to do it, you're not quite sure, but you think, well, yeah, but this year might be the year.
Onions are surprisingly hard, or they have been in recent years.
Yeah, but we're moving them this year, aren't we? We're going to move them up to the top half of the allotment.
And we did have more success with overwintering onions, didn't we? With Shenshu. Is it Shenshu or Senshu?
Senshu.
Yeah.
Overwintering onions, short day onions.
But you spend quite a lot of time looking after those and weeding around them and things like that.
Yeah.
And for sometimes not really very much of a reward.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just Mike's Corner. Could be on some of the videos. And Anna is saying
Tool time?
It could be, well, let's not
Tool time with Mike.
It could be a channel where you spill all the behind the scenes drama. I think we haven't Anna's been witness to quite a lot of drama in her growing years. So yeah, probably get better views. Mike's Pesto Corner. Yeah, I feel a bit like you, Rue. I'd rather. There have been occasions where I've had to do a voiceover, but I don't feel it doesn't gel in with the rest of it. I don't know. I'll have to do it at some point. Mike's Primordial Swamp. That's what it'd be like when you have your own little squash patch. I just have pictures of you from a distance with sound effects of dinosaurs and things like that going on.
I'm just thinking about Digwell's comment here about kale being a magnet for whitefly. It really is. I mean, it is absolute murder in terms of whitefly.
I know.
I think if you spray it with something, something that's not that's going to kill everything in the local environment, but a bit of soft soap every now and again makes a big difference.
It makes a difference, but it's still. You're right, Steve. It is.
But it's so fiddly to get under the leaves anyway where they live. I tend to go around with a bowl and sort of almost like hand wash the leaves, especially with Cavolo Nera. But I think Cavolo Nera is just great at everything.
I like it though. I like the taste of it because I do like my greens. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit uncomfortable. Settling down. I'll have a nestle.
The birds
I do like the thing. Yeah, well, Liz is saying she shows it for the ducks.
Yeah.
The chickens, and I'm sure if you've got ducks and chickens on your own plot, they do so well. We're not using the chicken to make compost, Ingrid, but we are using the chicken bedding. And in fact, what we tend to do at this time of year, we don't even compost it. It's just going straight on top of the beds, isn't it? And if we've got like quite a lot of beds already, I've got cardboard on top.
Yeah,
it's just a layer of chicken bedding on top of that.
But we've got a neighbour who kind of gets great big. He gets a few bags of chicken manure from a friend who's got a free range farm, sort of pretty much on a weekly basis. And instead of letting that stand and sort of rot down and break down, he just chucks it straight on top of the soil, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Turns the soil over, chucks this stuff on top. He has the most incredible cauliflower and kale and massive Brussels sprouts. So
also he's not. We do try and do it organically as well.
Well, I mean it's
an organic. Are other amendments, I'm sure.
How dare you say that about it? We shall not name that friendly gardener.
Fuel.
But he does use a bit of rocket fuel.
But he does well with it. And again, going back to what I was saying before, you do what works well for you, don't you? And he's been gardening for many, many years, and he's fine-tuned and streamlined what's right for him. So one thing worse tasting than kale, collards greens. Now, I've never had them. I imagine it's just cabbage.
You're not inspiring us to start with that this year, that's for sure. Tell you what, though, here's one thing. Digwell, I don't know if you tried this. Anna introduced us to roast kale and roast broccoli, and I've got to say, and roast cauliflower. I think I grew up in a background where you basically boiled everything to death.
Yeah.
Anna puts a bit of olive oil on in the oven, crisps up a little bit. It's really good.
Oh, it is good. Really good. Steve is a chef, or was a chef.
No doubt you've tried it, Steve, and that has not appealed to you.
But collards greens, okay, yeah, something we haven't tried. Again, you see, unless you've tried them, you don't know, do you? So it's always worth trying something different.
Isn't collard going to miss them? Never mind.
You see. Squash patch. I'm going to cross this off the list. Let's have a look. Roasted cauliflower. Yeah, Ingrid. Roasted cauliflower is, and broccoli. I mean, pretty much anything roasted. It's good, isn't it? It's going to be good. To be fair, you did use kale for crispy seaweed.
And it is good.
That's what we mean.
That.
Yeah, only slightly bigger.
Don't leave it too long, though.
Too much. Anna, you do like roasting every vegetable you get your hand on.
With lots of seasoning on top. Yeah, masses of seasoning.
Which is good. But another thing to mention, I am just going to have to do a little bit of, is this housekeeping? I am going to mention this. I don't know if you know, I don't know if you are part of it, but Patreon, I have got a Patreon channel that one of the moderators might put a link onto now. That's something I've been trying to get up and going this year to sort of like go alongside the videos. And I think especially over the winter, there's going to be more stuff on Patreon because it'll be less in the garden, if you like. So there's like blog start posts and dog walks. He's still howling. Can you hear him outside there?
Probably things like ways to cook this tiny squash.
Or draw a face on it, little thing, just random stuff really. But at the moment, Patreon is free to join. So if you fancy coming over to Patreon, I mean, I was talking to JB about this and saying I don't quite understand myself why there's a free tier and then there's tiers where people pay. But with the free tier, you can at least get in and have a little look at what's there and decide if you want to pay anything at all, you can do. And that in itself will just help to support us in what we do, really, doesn't it? Because if you make videos, you know that you don't make money. So it'd just be nice to be able to buy some compost or something. So
maybe you're gonna have to branch out into gaming videos where you try Fortnite at 144 frames per second or whatever,
whilst eating a carrot.
Yeah, exactly.
At least eating a homemade carrot. But yeah, onions and bacon. Oh yeah, stuff your pumpkin. Fantastic. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Danny, you're paying because you are getting the prime content of everything that Mike and Rocky and I can provide. Right, you're going to do like a regular thing on Patreon.
And Danny still hasn't sent us that little piece of glass yet.
Yeah, we're waiting for the bit of glass, Danny.
So that piece of glass. When you send that, you're free. You're off. You're off Patreon.
We're dithering in that shed, even with the stove. We're dithering.
That little corner's so cold.
No, I know. Minecraft, yeah. Well, Steve, you'd like Minecraft. I think you. Yeah, glass shame. I think you've had a few videos.
I've got a good idea. I've got a good idea.
Oh, he's off.
I've got an idea for Jane here. So if Jane had a little kind of avatar, and she sort of parachutes into Fortnite, and instead of trying to shoot people, she just has a little look around and tries to identify a few plants.
Oh, that was Rocky's.
That was Rocky banging his head there.
Oh, bless you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Turning it sort of on its head a little bit, the whole killing everybody thing. Just wander around.
Steve likes
see what the plants are like.
Minecraft and Lego figures. So maybe Steve could do a little Lego figure of me.
Yeah.
And we could, yeah. This is we have conversations well into the night about this sort of thing, and I don't think it's healthy. It's certainly nothing to do with our gardening.
Thanks for your comment there, Ingrid, about the shed.
Yeah, the shed. And actually,
it was a good project.
We loved doing that, although it did hugely cut into our growing time at the beginning of the season because, we hadn't quite understood how many challenges there would be. I mean, just getting the windows out, we thought it would be like a half-hour job, but oh my goodness, it was a thing. But
Jane won't be trying Plants and Zombies.
I won't. Hello, by gum. I don't think Plants and Zombies game. I think it does sound like something you could venture into. But the shed, I've actually got an article coming up. I think it's this weekend. I've got my second article coming up in Kitchen Garden magazine. So there's a bit of a plug there. And that's something I've really enjoyed doing the writing for that.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, even though we've got the videos, it makes you put everything together. And so it's got me talking about the shed and the shed build with photos and befores and afters and things like that. So it's really nice to be able to share that. So that's something I'm enjoying at the moment as well. That's something I want to do some more writing next year, I think.
I think that'll be good. I mean, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And you know a few things now as well, so you can talk about those things.
Do I know a few things? I better not write about whales.
No, best not
whales,
best
but
not, no. Whales
fish.
And gaming are out.
Fish. Oh, yeah, Rue, you visited the shed, haven't you? Yeah, it is lovely. It's lovely. Yeah, Jane dropping questions for the viewers as she swings through the vines to reach another level. I can see it. Donkey Kong.
Jane,
Donkey
Ingrid from Ingrid's Kitchen Garden is asking if the magazine is online.
Yeah. I don't know if it's online, Ingrid. I don't know.
It must be. It's quite a well-known magazine, isn't it? Must be.
I know it's available in lots of different countries, but I don't know if it's online. Sorry, can't answer you that. I got sent a PDF version.
Charlotte is saying she believes so.
Oh, okay then. If Charlotte says she believes so, it may well be so. Thank you, Rue. That's very kind. I did. My first article I was so excited about was just about taking on the allotment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a few months ago. So got this one coming up, and then just today, I've finished writing an article that's due next week for February. I mean, that's the thing. Liz, you've had your books published. That's a whole book. For me, a deadline for a 1,500 word piece, it's really nerve-wracking. But it's like, what, 3 months beforehand, you've got to have it all in. It's crazy. It is crazy, but I do really enjoy it. Thank you.
Can I answer Lisa's question here? So Lisa is asking what we did with our apples this year. I'm going to tell you this, Lisa. Not very much, because it was one of those years where the apples just didn't flourish at all. We've got a big cooking apple tree that sort of hangs over the top of the chicken run. Normally sort of clogs up the top of the chicken run roof. I mean, I think we barely got an apple from that tree this year.
So many last year. Last year, the place was dripping in apples, wasn't it?
We got a press, didn't we? So we thought we'd buy this or get this apple press. We'd be making our own cider, able to drink it all through the winter months, the cold winter months. But in fairness, we probably got about 10 apples.
Yeah, it was really disappointing.
From about 5 trees.
I know. And I think as well, I just think next year is a feast and famine with, I don't know if it's all fruit trees, but definitely with apples with us.
Yeah.
You got a brilliant year. Last year, was it a mast year, they call it?
Mast year. So this year we think is a quince year, because our friend has got an amazing quince tree to the side of her garden. And she brought us a basket full round the other, didn't she? The beautiful, big sort of chunky quinces. Oh, quince.
Yeah.
But apples, no.
Oh, you do cider making, Lisa. That's interesting. So, if you've got a fruit press, I don't know if you saw our grape pressing video. We had it's only small. It's the first fruit press we've ever had, isn't it? And it's needed a few modifications. Danny, you had the same one, didn't you? And it's it was interesting. But for the amount of stuff you put in to the amount that comes out, it's crazy. So
I think I'd rather press apples than make cider, or just have apple juice.
Well, yeah, but I think to do apples, that's why I'm asking Lisa. You need is it a scratter? I think you call it a scratter. That you can basically you get your apples in a tub and you scratch it across, and it chunks them up for you.
I thought a scratter was somebody who just got through things.
A scrat.
Like you just passed your exams, you scratted your way through.
Scratter. Yeah, there's another word for it as well, and I think it begins with H, but I don't know. Hasher. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. Oh my goodness, Lisa, you've got a hydraulic press and made 85 litres?
Where are you, Lisa?
Was it nice, Lisa? Was it tasty?
And where is Lisa?
Rocky is a scratter.
You can't be in Staffordshire, I don't think. Staffordshire was a barren apple spot this year.
No. Rue's saying she has 3 years. Poor. Well, this was definitely poor with us. Reasonable. Yeah. Right. Okay. FOD. You're not helping there, Lisa. Okay. FOD. Right. Okay.
I'm guessing Denmark, but I don't know.
Okay. Could be. Yeah. Store-bought apples, everything has been there.
Forest of Dean. That makes more sense.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
There we go. As opposed to Forest of Denmark.
I think it was Federation of Denmark.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Okay.
Anyway.
Can't believe how pricey store-bought apples are. I can. They're acid enough to water bath can for apple pie filling, so it doesn't take up freezer space. Yeah. Forest of Dean.
Widely known as FOD.
Of course.
Wherever you go.
Yeah. So That's a really interesting point, actually, Amanda. We have still got so much stuff in our freezer. We've got a fridge freezer in the kitchen, and then we've got an upright freezer in the utility room. And the upright freezer is still
upright,
weighed down with stuff from last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's really to be able to, I've mentioned this before, but to be able to have various different methods of storing your produce. Yeah, if you water bath them. So is that the same as canning? Water bathing, canning? I would call it in the UK, what would you call it? What do you call it, Liz? Jarring? I don't know, but doing things in jars. That would be, that's another way of doing things. And if you have sorry, I'm being distracted. If you have a power cut and your freezer goes off and you haven't got something to kick in, you're not going to lose all your stuff because you've got stuff in jars. The other thing about, you can dry things. Here's our beans, or some of our beans from this year. So these are our gigantes. And to be honest, I got fed up picking out the ordinary kidney beans out the basket. So I've just mixed them all up. But yeah, so try and think, if you're new to preserving, try and use lots of different methods to preserve things. And then if something happens to one of them, hopefully it won't happen to all the rest. Danny has been to Lisa's garden orchard. It's huge. Lisa was the lady. Yes, I remember that, Danny. I remember that. I'd love to see your allotment. Your orchard. Well, if you've got an orchard,
and I'd like to
come orchard. That's why you've got 85 litres of what's it?
And I'd like to revisit the Forest of Dean, which is a very beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. Well, you can call it Fod now.
I can call it Fod now.
So you're off to Fod.
I know the Wye a little bit. I've done a bit of canoeing down the Wye, and cycled through the Forest of Dean many years ago, stopping off in a place called Welsh Bicknor, which I thought was beautiful.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, Welsh Bicknor.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic part of the world.
Yeah, parents called it bottling. I've hit a blank, Liz. What do we call it in the UK? Come on, Steve. What do we call it in the UK when we put stuff in jars? I mean, there's like jamming and chutneying and that sort of thing. But I mean, like,
preserving.
I think it is bottling. When you put something in and then add a liquid. I don't know. Water bath tends to be non-pressurized. Canning is pressurized. Okay, I pressure can 2, but I thought, that is interesting, Amanda. Okay. Steve is the final. I imagine it's beautiful with the trees. I think every time I go out and look at the trees at the moment, they're changing colours, and I think we just need one more storm and they're all going to have gone. But I imagine your trees are gorgeous. Rue's life, being called worse, chutneying, preserving, canning, preserving. It's all the same thing, isn't it? It's all the same thing. But yes, so any other questions? Anything you'd like to ask? Or say, or tell us that you're going to do? What about you, Mike?
Well, I had a question and answer session with some students last week, some 16-year-old students at the college that I work at, and I said, you can ask me anything you like. I was just stepping in for another member of staff. I said, you can ask me about my past life as a cartoonist or the workings of the college or anything. Anyway, have a little think about it and ask me what you like. And when I came back, they asked me what my shoe size was. I said 11, sometimes 10.5.
Yeah, that was good.
It wasn't a topic that we dwelt on for very long.
What was your past life, Mike? What's your background? Come on, we've got a few minutes here, just in a nutshell.
I think I've met you many times in past lives.
Yeah.
And I think in all those past lives, I've been lucky to get a word in edgeways.
Okay. But you still keep coming back.
I still keep coming back. Like a moth to a flame.
No, but I think your background, I'm going to say it then if you're not, you're a qualified artist. Just because you said about cartooning before, you have got a background in fine art, didn't you?
Yeah. And
that was your degree.
Yeah, so doing paintings that nobody could understand.
They're still in the loft. Yeah.
They're in the loft, yeah, gathering dust. And then cartoons that most people had to understand, otherwise you couldn't sell them because they were about topical things. They were about kind of events of the day. Yeah.
But but you're retiring next year, aren't you? Hopefully. And so hopefully you're going to be able to get back. So we're in the process of Charlotte and Nana. I'm sure you don't mind the fact that we've ejected you rather suddenly, and your dad has taken over the top bedroom as a studio now. So not only will you be spending more time at the allotment, hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of you on our videos. I say hopefully, but you're going to be doing a lot more drawing and painting and whatever again, aren't you?
I think Charlotte's just talking about the t-shirts. So we did some t-shirts. We had some encouragement from a couple of Jane's gardening friends who thought that these designs that I'd knocked up would be would fly off the shelves. Well, they didn't. They didn't exactly fly off the shelves.
Yeah.
I think what we learned at that point was that we're not great salespeople.
Oh, we're terrible.
And also we both get bored very quickly with things.
Yeah. So it's time to move on.
Yeah, we started a card business some years ago, and it was sort of sale or return. So we made these cards, we distributed to various different card shops all around the Northeast, and then we got bored and then went and did something else.
Because you're a fantastic illustrator. You are a fantastic. I'm not looking you in the eyes as I'm saying it, but you are a fantastic illustrator.
These were good enough for the people to stock them, but we were just such bad business people. We just didn't follow up properly, So we need a manager, don't we?
We do.
We need a manager.
We need some PR.
I thought that Jane might be my manager on the cartooning / t-shirt side, but it's very apparent that she's not.
No, I don't like. I get embarrassed. I can sell things maybe for other people, but not for myself. So.
Bye, Ingrid.
Who are you waving at? Oh, Ingrid, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. That's really kind of you.
We're probably going to be wrapping it up sometime soon, aren't we?
Yeah, it is your.
We're coming up to the 1 hour mark now.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve says, I like it when at the end of a talk, the presenter asks any questions. I always ask, what do you call those things that people blow on New Year's Eve that squeaks and rolls out? Rocky just grumbled. Maybe he knows.
I don't know.
Is it a blowy thing?
I don't know what it is.
A squeaker. Is it a squeaker?
One of those things. One of those. Charlotte's going to find out any minute now.
Yeah, they're a squeaker. They're fantastic.
Probably a papistrel.
No, but and the other one was it a vuvuzela?
Vuvuzela. That's a very different thing.
Yeah, no, but it made a similar noise. That was.
Rocky would be a better manager than Jane.
Yeah, I'm not. No, not a trumpet, Caroline. They were smaller. They were the things that roll out like a little whistle with a.
And then they go.
Yeah. And if you had cheap crackers, they usually had a hole in. And it's my childhood. You'd blow them, and then they'd get really wet around the top because they were just made of thin paper, and then there'd be a hole in, and then if you were lucky, they'd toot out a bit, and that just dangle. I don't know you. Yeah. I'm going to stop that there. A tutor, a party horn. A tiny. Okay.
Party blower sounds good.
Hi, Jean. A do. Give in a party blowout.
I think party blower's right.
A party blowout.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That sounds like a really bad party, Steve. I don't know. Blowouts, maybe. I think language has changed so much, hasn't it? But we're going off topic again, completely off topic.
We've done our topics.
We have done off topic. Yeah. So always stumps the presenter.
A party horn.
Right.
Thank you,
Party
Charlotte.
Horn.
It's obviously a party horn, isn't it?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
I got those. Oh, I wish I'd brought them up. Bit like a party horn.
Digwell is just saying there. It always stumps the presenter.
Well, it did. Me.
Yeah, it did.
I got that thing. It's a bit like a party horn that you blow and it extends. It's a telescopic
bellows.
Oh
yeah.
Danny, you will love it. Anyone else who's got any sort of stove, Rue, for your wood burner, Liz, anyone who's got a wood burner or a stove. I suppose like our wood burner indoors is really easy to get going because you've got different drafts going on. But the tent stove, sometimes because the wood up in the shed can be a bit damp, it can be tricky to get going. And thank you, Amanda. Thank you. And but if this thing comes along, it's about that yay big, about 5 inches, and literally you extend it to 2 foot.
Yes.
And it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. It's a metal thing, and you blow down it and it starts your fire.
You can be very specific about what you want to
It's really, it really pinpoints
gallows onto
the air. Yeah, because it gets narrower. It pinpoints the air. And it's $5.99.
Like
it's
a vuvuzela.
Crazy nonsense. It was yeah. So that's been a real treat. So we're looking forward to getting up and trying that with the tent
And
stove.
it's better than using rolled up paper, which could set fire to to your house very easily.
Yes.
So it's much safer than that.
Or throwing a whole load of petrol on it.
Any
of these, do not try at home. I will send you a link. Yeah, vuvuzela, that's it. Okay, right. Okay, Mike's tapping me on the knee. We haven't actually eaten. Can you see that? It's not very subtle, is it? And so we are going to have to go. Yeah, it's 8:05. Hope you've enjoyed the live. As I say, if you could give us a like. If you're not subscribed, which I'm sure you are, give us a subscribe. Really will help the channel. It will help us get along to the 300. We'll see what happens when we get to 300 videos. I don't know if we can face another 300. Do pop along to Patreon and just have a little look. It's free. You might be tempted to subscribe. It's up to you. But I'm going to be putting a lot more stuff on there over the winter. And yes, if you could get some hearts going, that would be brilliant. Thank you. And if I know how to end this stream, I'm going to try and end the stream. But thank you so much for coming along, and we'll speak to you again soon.
And thanks very much, daughters, for helping out.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
All the mugs.
Thank
you. Bye now. And still again, bye.